today for our word on wellness, I want to talk to you about 8 tips to manage stress during this season. I know for a lot of people, it can get very hectic at this time. There's lots of pressure to buy things, to get things done, to attend the parties, and all of these things. But again, people get really worked up, caught up, stressed out during this holiday season. And so I wanted to give you 8 practical tips that you can start to implement for yourself and your family to handle stress during this holiday season. And, right off the top, the first thing that I think about is that you always have a choice. So keep that in mind. You always have a choice on what you do and how much you do. So don't allow yourself to get pulled into things that you really don't want to be pulled into. I think that's very simple. I saw a meme the other day that said something about, the very first Christmas was pretty low key, and it's okay for your Christmas to be low key. So just keep those types of things in mind. So the first thing you want to do is learn your signs of stress. And when you're dealing with stress, or if you're being, kind of under attack from a stressful situation, it may look different for different people. For some people, when you're stressed, you may notice your heart racing. You may feel a little bit anxious. For other people, when you're under stress, you may get gut symptoms. And, part of a lot of your feel good hormones like serotonin and dopamine are actually produced in the gut. And so for some of you, when you're stressed, you literally, your bowel habits change. You can't eat. You might get nauseous. Understand what your signs are. Do you guys know what your signs of stress are? Type it in here and let me know. What are the signs of stress that you can identify with and know, like, oh my gosh, I know that the stress is manifesting itself in a physical way. And definitely that is true for a lot of people. Stress can manifest itself in a very physical way. So just understand that that is totally possible and learn to identify that for yourself so that you understand that. So the next thing you want to do as it relates to managing stress is identify what are the things that are actually stressing you out. So first we talked about what does it look like for you physically? And then the next thing is what's stressing you out? Is it finances? Is it family? Is it relationships? Figure out what those things are, because the next step is going to be we got to set some intention on how to start reducing that stress from wherever it may be coming from. What you want to do is then set some goals. So if it's finances that's stressful for you, then maybe set a goal of setting a budget so that that won't be something that's always a source of stress. So you've got a choice. If it's stressful to you to go to holiday parties and things like that, guess what? You don't have to go to every one. You don't have to go to any. It's not mandated. So make choices in the situation and get yourself out of some of those stressful things. That's one thing to do. And I'll tell you, when it comes to like gift buying and things like that, set goals. And I'll actually add this: set boundaries. This is something that I didn't say in my original notes. So we're setting goals. That's another thing that we're doing to manage stress during the holiday season. Make the things doable for you, and then also set your boundaries. The next thing you want to do, explore relaxation techniques. This is super important. So when you're feeling stressed, you've got to be able to identify, what can I do to calm myself, to relax myself? Prayer, meditation, quiet time, reading. For some people, relaxation is actually movement a little bit. So you don't have to be sitting quietly, with your hands in prayer. So when you're managing stress during the holiday season, explore some relaxation techniques. And when we talk about breathing and things like that, it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. Just make it very simple. There's one way of breathing called box breathing. So you inhale for a count of 4, you hold for a count of 4, and you exhale for a count of 4. And just do that for a period of at least 5 minutes. I encourage everyone to implement some sort of relaxation technique at the top of their day so that you're starting kind of in a more quiet, settled place before you jump out and start doing all the things that you need to do. So explore relaxation techniques, prayer, meditation, quiet time, moments of gratitude. You may journal, what you're grateful for every day. These are ways to manage stress. And studies have actually shown that these practices can lower blood pressure and lower your heart rate. So, just like I talked about at the top, how sometimes stress can manifest itself in a physical way, at the same time, when you start to implement relaxation techniques and when you start to be intentional about reducing the impact of stress, you can see a physical benefit to that as well. Next, you want to do some exercise. Exercise can help with stress. Exercise can help with depression. They've done studies where they randomized people to two different groups. One group did regular exercise for their depression, the other group took an antidepressant. The results were similar. So that's how powerful exercise can be as it relates to stress. So make that a priority. Don't give the excuse of, well, I'm busy. It's the holiday season. It's getting cold outside. Whatever that excuse is, what's that excuse that you might use as far as why you're not exercising? Go ahead and throw it out there. Let's just get it out there, out in the open. Why it is that you're not exercising? Let's put it out there and then let's stamp that. Let's crush that excuse and get out there and get it done. And again, exercise does not have to be hitting the gym. It doesn't mean that you're there for 2 hours. You could take a walk, you can stretch, you can do yoga. All of those things are helpful. So it doesn't have to be strenuous, but moving your body. Sometimes we talk about just joyful movement, thinking about the idea that it's not that I have to exercise, but I get to. It's a privilege to be able to move the body. And you want to do that exercise or that movement in a spirit of gratitude because there are so many people who can't move their bodies and who wish they could. So keep that in mind. Exercise is a way. Number six, set time aside for you. How many of us need to do more of that? Set aside time for you. I was just thinking today as I was writing my own little to do list, like, there's a few things I need to do for myself that I need to get on the schedule. So you need to set aside some time for you. So a lot of times, one of the big factors as far as being stressed during this season or any season really is that we're overcommitted, we're overbooked. We've got ourselves running rampant without any downtime or rest. So I want you to make it a priority during this season to actually set some time aside for you. How many of you guys are doing that? If you agree with what I'm saying or you think this has been helpful, give me a thumbs up or a heart. But understand that you got to set some time aside for you as it relates to dealing with stress and understand that, the best way that you can fill someone else's cup is if your cup is overflowing, right? We want your cup to be overflowing. And so you've got to spend some time to replenish and rejuvenate so that you will be overflowing and able to spread to others. Set some time aside for you. The next one, and I love this one, make positive self talk a habit. Now, some people are in the habit of always talking negative about themselves, self-deprecating. Oh, I'm not that smart. I'm not that great. I'm not that. And I'm not talking about being arrogant or cocky, but positive self-talk. Make it a habit, meaning be able to see the good in what you're doing, the good in what you're contributing, the good in how you are being there or available for other people, the good in how you're being there for yourself and making your health a priority, which is something that I talk to people about every single day. Make positive self talk a habit. So let's say you have an intention to exercise and you're not quite meeting the goal that you set for yourself. Instead of saying to yourself, oh my gosh, I'm a failure again, I can't seem to get this right, I want you to flip that and say, you know what? I'm a work in progress. I'm not seeking perfection, but I'm going to keep trying until I reach the level where this is becoming a habit and it becomes easier. So really, I truly believe that as long as you keep trying, you will succeed. The people who fail are those who give up. I also believe in the idea that when we're going through a process of trying to adopt and change our behavior, it's often not about winning and losing, but it's about winning and it's about the lessons that you've learned. Because if you are making an effort to make a change, you're winning because you know that this is an important aspect of your health. So at least you're conscious of it. Because trust me, there are plenty of people who are not even to the point where they believe they need to make a change. So the fact that you know you need to make a change and you're conscious of it and you're making an effort to do it, that's positive. Give yourself that positive self-talk. A term that we like to use in our communities is G and G, grace and gratitude. Extend grace and gratitude to yourself. Understand that whatever you're doing, it doesn't have to be perfect. Whether that's in your romantic relationship with your spouse or your significant other, you're not going to get it right all the time because if you're stressed out, you might get a little cranky or irritable. If it's about, a parent relationship, we're not going to always get it right with our kids, right? We're doing the best we can. Whether it's work relationships, give yourself grace and gratitude and understand, hey, if I feel like I didn't get it right this time, I'm going to dust myself off and try again. I think Aaliyah said that. If at first you don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. She's said it in a song, but other people have said it as well. So make positive self-talk the habit. Encourage yourself. That's another song. Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Do that. And then lastly, get help. So in some cases, when you're dealing with stress may be something a little more serious, like actual anxiety or depression, and you may need professional help. And I'm so grateful for the fact that talking about mental health and depression and anxiety is more commonplace now. It is something that we can talk about, and you don't have to be ashamed if you feel like you need some professional help. I encourage you to do that. I also encourage you all to, check in on the people around you and see how they're doing. And be present and be available and help them on their journey to say, hey, do you think you might need to seek some professional help? Don't be afraid to have those tough conversations with the people that you love and the people around you. So, again, I want to thank you all for joining me today. We've talked about 8 tips to manage stress during the holiday season. I'm going to hit them one more time. So, first of all, learn your signs of stress. What does stress look like for you physically? Are you starting to get headaches? Are you having an upset stomach? Are you getting irritable or cranky? If that's happening to you, it may be because you're under stress. Then identify what are those things stressing you out. Is it finances? Is it family? Is it overcommitments? Then I want you to set some goals and start eliminating some of those things that are causing that stress for you. Explore relaxation techniques, like implement. Don't explore, implement them actually. So prayer, meditation, moments of gratitude, do that on a regular basis. Put it in your schedule. Exercise, joyful movement, not because you have to, because you get to, because you're grateful for this body and all that it's able to do. Set aside some time for you. Don't allow yourself to be overcommitted. That's no good for anybody. Set aside some time for yourself. Make positive self-talk a habit. Look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, girl, you're doing great. You're looking good. So grateful for this body, for this mind. And I'm excited about what I'm going to be able to do today. Okay, to move toward the goals that I have for myself. And then get help. So, again, if you need professional help, seek it out. If this has been helpful, give me a thumbs up or a heart. Make sure you share this with someone else. And as I said, I am super excited to be here with you. So again, every Thursday afternoon, we're doing a wow session, a word on wellness, and we're talking about tips to manage your stress. Hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. I will see you back again next week. But remember, don't get yourself so stressed out about this, okay? Enjoy the people, enjoy the time, enjoy the experiences, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.